Propaganda I am not falling for. If you've been on TikTok, you've seen this trend literally everywhere in the form of a little video with text on screen and Charli XCX in the background. Charli herself did it. And I feel some type of way with these propaganda videos, so I have a lot of things that I want to talk about because I feel like we're kind of scratching the surface in terms of propaganda that we're not falling for. And I want to go a little bit deeper. So today I have prepared a list of things that I want to talk about, and a couple of them are a little controversial because they have to pertain with things that I have partaken in, and I want to explain the difference between propaganda you don't fall for versus having a little fun and being a little silly and enjoying your life, because there is a big misconception that everything needs to be black and white. Either we're doing something or we're not. And I want to clear the air today. So let's get into it. Before we get into the things that I'm not buying into, I want to say that this list goes from purchases to aesthetics to mindset and everything in between. There is not a subset of things that I'm covering. And sorry if I'm doing this a lot. I love having long nails and doing things with my hands when I have long nails. Also, one of them fell off.
Don't mention that.
I was going to glue it back on before this video, but then I got lazy. Actually, no. I have things to do today. I have a lot of things to do today. Dutch Bros is coming out with friendship bracelets today, and I need to be there. I have to be there. There's a squirrel. I have to be there. I know what you're all gonna say, but keep it.
Save it.
I don't want to hear it. Let's just get into the video now. The first thing I want to talk about is that girl success aesthetic. Waking up at 5 a.m. to do Pilates and then teach your first bar class and then go work your 9-to-5 corporate job and then come home and chop your rainbow veggies and then do some meditation with some candles and have a bubble bath, and then you do that every single day of your life. And that is how you're going to be successful. That's how you're going to live a soft girl life. That's how you're going to have unlimited matchas and very shiny hair and very clear skin. Girl, let's get so for real. You are overworking yourself. I was sent this video by a friend where this girl was literally waking up super early to teach. I don't remember the name of the company, but she went to go teach a fitness class. And then she went to go work out. And then she went to her 9-to-5. And my friend was like, can we not normalize this? Because you're literally on path to getting sick. When you need to take a sick day or a sick week or whatever, now you're 3 times as behind. Because now you're behind on your 9-to-5, you're behind on your workout class, and you're behind on your life. We don't need to be promoting this sort of lifestyle just because it looks cute for the camera. I think we have this misconception on social media that if someone's life looks aesthetic and organized, it means that they're fulfilled and they're rich. I don't know why you see a clean girl with like a light pink Pilates outfit and you're like,
she's rich and she has her life together.
She's got her little mantra. Is she happy? Or is she just making money just to make money, just to make silly little videos to make you think that she's happy and rich? Like, come on, guys. Another part of this that really like riles me up is the green juice propaganda. Green juice is good if you don't get your vitamins and minerals in, okay? As someone that has a very small stomach that I hate, by the way, because I really want to eat that entire pizza the same way that I did when I was 8 years old. But as someone with a small stomach, I understand. Just like taking all of your vitamins in one go is really nice. And I like to get my vitamins and minerals and all of the things that are good for you in natural forms. I have low iron anemia, and I like to get my iron from like meat. I don't like to get my iron in a little green pill, okay? I've done that before and I'm not doing that again. Just because someone has like a green juice doesn't mean they're like healthy on the inside and it shows on the outside. Like, no, like I'm so tired of seeing like the green juice girlies. 1, they're really disgusting. 2, they're really expensive. 3, things like Super Bloom, Super Greens, I don't know what they're called, like green powder, it's not real. It's not real. It's capitalism grabbing you by your little cutesy bows, reeling you in and being like, you need this. Like, girl, there's a filter on your skin. There's extensions in her hair. That's not Bloom Greens. Don't get that messed up. Segueing into the next propaganda item that I'm not falling for is the grind set culture. And I am so passionate about this one. Again, I feel like grind set culture is just like the male version of what I just explained with the aesthetic like clean girl. We don't need to be rebranding working your butt off. I don't know why we keep rebranding it. One for the girlies, one for the guys. I always say guys and it sounds so bad. Girlies and guys. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Just because you're waking up at 5 a.m. does not mean you're successful. I know tons of people who don't wake up at 5 a.m. that are successful. In fact, one of my most successful friends is like nocturnal. He doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. You never catch him dead waking up at 5 a.m. That phrase makes absolutely no sense. The reason why I said friend was because I got a Snapchat notification that was like,
Your friend is on Snapchat.
girl, if you don't leave me alone, I am not using your app. Leave me alone! More propaganda I'm not falling for. Snapchat. Back to what I was saying. You can't sleep, not because you're excited to wake up in the morning, because you're excited to make money, because you're excited to sell products. Be so for real. Who is feeding you hustle grind culture as propaganda? Let's take a propaganda of what the freak you're doing. Sorry, I can't do a British accent. My point is still made. We're not doing that. That's not propaganda that I'm falling for, okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Andrew Tate, get off my feed. Thank you very much. Next propaganda item. Okay, I know that you've all seen the meme of like the second you turn, what was it, 22, 23? The second you turn 23, you're either in Japan or Italy. Why? I understand you got big boy money now and you want to travel and you want to experience other cultures and all that stuff. I get it, okay? I love traveling. I love people of all walks from life. I love cultures. But if you're traveling because you think it's gonna make you a better person, we gotta have a better reason for this, because traveling doesn't make you a better person, especially if you are there like staying in Airbnbs and you're raising the prices of housing and you're raising the prices of everything so that the locals can't afford it anymore. You're actually being a worse person. I don't know if you've considered that, girly, but people who make traveling their entire personality, humans are multifaceted for a reason. There is no world, there's no universe, there's nothing where traveling should be your entire personality. It can be part of your personality. It can be something you love doing, but your entire personality, do you not have like hobbies? Like, I don't know. I don't understand how traveling gives me like deep personal peace. Like, I don't want to hear about your traveling stories that made you a better person. I don't want to hear that traveling gave you the character development you were looking for. And before y'all get mad at me in the comments, let's talk about this a little bit more. For example, this is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to move to Paris for the month of April for character development. That's completely different than being like, I can't develop myself deeply enough in my hometown, so I need to travel other countries to find out who I am. To find out who you are, you need to sit in silence with your thoughts. You need to feel your feelings and you need to figure out why you are having those thoughts and why you're having those feelings. And if you don't like it, you need to figure out how to change it and actually do the changes. And if you do like it, then you just keep going. You keep hyping yourself up. But if you are telling me and telling the internet that I needed to solo travel Europe for 3 years to figure out who I truly am. And then I figured out who I truly am. And I came back to the US and I built a company in California and it was inspired by my solo Europe trip. Girl, your entire life and personality was your solo Europe trip. You're not even from Europe. You can't last another year without a Trader Joe's. Like, it's a false narrative and it's just monotonous. It's so sad, actually, to see someone who could be so vibrant, to see someone who could be so full of life, just like denounce themselves as someone who's like made up of traveling and who needs to deeply find themselves by like spending a ton of money on flights and trains and foods and fruits that they've never had before. The thing that I wrote down here, there's a difference between exploring cultures and using Bali as a backdrop for your personality. That is so telling. Bali isn't what made you you. You are what makes you you. And if you are using rich and pretty places as a scapegoat, there's something in my throat. Your escape from trying to figure out who you are and trying to come to terms with who you are and your identity, then we've got a major problem. And that is not propaganda that I'm falling for. I will never be someone who runs from my problems by physically running. And I have tried it before just because I am the kind of person that, like, I see propaganda on the internet and I am like, let me try that. I want to experience what other people are experiencing and, like, living my life the way that other people are living their lives. And so I want to live like them for a bit and see, like, what they're getting out of it. It, like, didn't do anything for me. It really didn't. And actually, when I look back, I don't look back on, like, I was running from my problems. I look back on, like, there were opportunities that presented themselves that I was partaking in. Yeah, I can't. When all people do is, like, run around and travel and go to festivals and whatever, like, I just can't. A lot of my friends are the kind of people who do this. And that's not to say I don't love them dearly. And it's not to say that I think that they're living life wrong. But I just, with people that I don't know, whose entire personality, again, I keep saying this, but, like, travel equals deep character seeking. I just can't with them. Like, you cannot be so for real. Another layer that I want to add on top of this is I understand now social media really niches you down and you need to be very, very strict with the types of videos that you're putting out and the niche that you're choosing to put yourself in. And I do fully understand that travel is a niche, but that doesn't mean that on your private Instagram with 650 followers, you are also posting, Greece changed my life. Like, okay, yeah, it can change your life because it opened you up to a way of living that you weren't even aware of before. But to say that you are a different person now just because you tried Greek yogurt from Greece. Anyways, I just don't want to see airport pictures on your Instagram story every other week and nothing else. If I were to be posting airport pictures on my Instagram story every other week, you would hear a lot more from me. You would hear my Greece story from my perspective, what I brought to Greece, like how I see Greece in my eyes. You wouldn't see what Greece turned me into. I wouldn't all of a sudden start speaking Greek and only eating a Balkan breakfast. Okay. Next propaganda item I'm not falling for. Okay, this is getting into controversy territory, but overconsumption isn't cute. And I have a lot to say on this topic because there is quite a thick line between enjoying your life and indulging in things that you think are fun and cute and things that can make you happy versus overconsumption. There's a thick line. There's no thin line. It's thick. Like, there is quite a difference between those two. And why I say that this is controversial is because I am someone who buys things, period. Like, girl, I'm wearing this Sabrina Carpenter shirt. Like, yes, I buy things. I partake in trends and stuff like that because I think it's cute. And I like to actually create a personality. I like to like things. And I know that's, like,
In the nonchalant era,
it's not common, but, like, I am someone who has a very strong personality and I want to have a strong personality. I want people to know things about me and I am a fangirl at heart. I grew up being a fangirl. I actually started posting on social media because I created a One Direction Twitter account when I was 12 years old. And so being a fan of things and buying merch is something that is very me. It's very true to me. And so I'm not going to stop doing that. Okay. But that also doesn't mean that I'm going to buy every piece of merch there is out there. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I did not make it to the Short and Sweet tour. I've known about Sabrina Carpenter since the Disney Channel days. I didn't know that she was going to be this big of a pop star or a pop star at all, period. But her last album really stuck with me. It really meant a lot to me. And I listened to that album like it is the Bible. I love that album. It's just, I don't know. I have no words. That album is so good. And I want people to know that I like that album, which is why I got this. Sure, but this was $10 from Target. Like, I'm not going and buying her pop figure. I'm not going and buying her $120 sweatshirts. Like, I'm not doing that. If I were doing that, I would buy like one sweatshirt and I would call it a day, you know? I did buy a $120 sweatshirt from Tate McRae, but that's because I have actually stanned her entire journey. And when I say that, it's been more than half a decade. That's her entire journey for me. When she came out with You Broke Me First, that song came at such a pivotal time in my life. Like, I listen to that nonstop all the time. That and Driver's License, but that's another thing. But she is an artist that I was like dying when she would post those TikToks of like, do you want this song? Like, let me know, I'm gonna drop it. Like, I was saving those little teasers, and I remember that I would save those teasers. I would make TikToks with those teasers, and then she wouldn't drop the song. And I'd be like, I'm a real fan because I made TikToks with these teasers and she didn't drop this song. Or like she would drop it like a couple years later and I would be like, I'm an OG. Because I made a TikTok with this teaser. That is the reason why I bought her hoodie. And actually, that is the best hoodie I have ever bought in my life. Like, I'm so glad that I got that hoodie. But I don't own any other Tate merch. I don't even own an album. I don't own a vinyl. I don't own anything. That is the only Tate merch I own. Now, talking about overconsumption in terms of little items and collectibles, because that's like a huge thing right now. Pop Mart is popping the freak off right now. And that's like totally fine, but I'm seeing like specifically on TikTok, like half of TikTok is like,
I love it. I want another one.
Like, they're really big fans of Vanilla, and Vanilla's one of her niches is like these blind boxes, right? She's influencing other influencers to do blind boxes and influencing a bunch of people to sell out some of these blind boxes at Pop Mart. And then there's the other half of TikTok that's like, overconsumption core isn't cute. Again, there's a really thick line between indulging in something for fun and overconsumption. I think I mixed up the sides, but regardless, I like to go get a blind box with my friend and see what we got. But that's like it, okay? I'm not out here buying every blind box that there is and buying all of them so that I can collect the set. Like, that is not something that I think should happen. And I call it like the Pop Mart bug. I don't have the Pop Mart bug. However, I will buy things once in a while. And like I just said, I got like a Hirono box with my friend. I didn't get the best one, but I'm not gonna go and buy like 15 more. I might buy a couple more because I think they're cute. I love having little decorations in my room, but like, I don't need to have all of them from every set. I think they're all really cute, but I'd rather buy them like secondhand. I'd rather get them from like a thrift shop or whatever. That also leads me to the Smithskies. I know the Smithskies were really big for a while. I personally really love when people have like tons of Smithskies and they hide them all over their apartment. I have a friend who has 40 and he has them like literally hidden all over his apartment, and it's like the funnest, cutest thing ever to like go through his apartment and like find them all. That is cute, that is whimsical, that is quirky. And I actually think that's okay as long as he's not collecting every collectible on planet Earth, right? I think that is something that's like a little bit, and I love when people have a little bit. That's totally fine. That's not overconsumption because you're doing it out of enjoyment for yourself and you're doing it out of the enjoyment for your guests. That's great. Again, with Pop Mart. Love Skull Panda. I was introduced to Skull Panda by Vanilla. I needed to have one. So I went and got this. This is literally my prized possession. Look at her. Dude, I'm so in love with her. She's like the cutest thing ever. It's a one and done situation for me. I really wanted the Christmas tree. I know that's like controversial because like Vanilla didn't want it and like a ton of people don't want it because of her, but I actually think it's so cute, and it was like one of the ones that I wanted. But honestly, I was like okay with any of them. And like after I got Miss Rock On, I looked at the box again and I was like, you know what, like I actually was not okay with all of them, and I didn't want like the tan one. And so I'm like actually really happy that I got Rock On. She's like so me. This leads into me talking about indulging versus over collecting. Like when people jump on a trend and they take that trend to Mars, that's when it's like,
Okay, girl. Where are we putting our money right now?
Why do you have a stash of Squishmallows in every room in your house? And you have a wall with every Stanley color ever. And you collect the Starbucks cups. And you have every Skull Panda. And you have Smiskies. And you have Hirono. And you have, like, it gets to a point. Why are you not just getting the ones that you think are cute? Why do you need everything? Why do you have everything? What purpose is that serving? And how much money are you giving these corporations just because you need to have them all? That is an obsession. That needs to be stopped. You need intervention at that point. We do not like that in this house. Something that I wrote down here that I really want y'all to hear. It's literally capitalism, manufacturing, obsession cycles, so you keep spending money and calling it a hobby. Period. Another propaganda point that I'm not falling for is if you're not monetizing it, what's the point? We are allowed to have hobbies. Did we lose the art of hobbies and just like doing things for creativity, creative outlets, and just like being? The entire point of you on this planet right now is to experience being on this planet right now. So like not everything isn't greed one of the original sins in the Bible? Like, that's not the point. The point is that you're supposed to be here to explore, to create, to experience. It's not to make money off of everything. One of the things I wrote here, God forbid you paint, bake, or write for fun. Not everything needs to be a side hustle. And I think that with the rise of overconsumption and also the market going to poo, like, I think that everyone is so obsessed with money because they need to buy the next Skull Panda set. They need to buy the next Smiski drop. But at the same time, like, they don't have a job. So everyone's trying to, like, create side hustles. And I love a side hustle, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I think if you're doing something that takes a few hours a week just to make some extra money for some lattes, for an extra Smiski, like, whatever. But not everything needs to be a side hustle. You are not here to be a money-making machine, okay? It's fine to just do something because you enjoy it. It's fine to do something because you have fun. It's fine to do something because you want to learn something new. Just because, for example, I know a lot of people who are doing like music now, and that's also something that I'm finally starting to take seriously, and I've been saying that forever. But again, even for me, it's hard to be serious about something if there is no path forward that includes money, because we are all so like, we need money, but like the truth is, like, satisfaction will lead to money. Like, when you do things because you enjoy them, you're obviously going to be spending more time on them, and then things will work out. Like, you don't have to force it. And that's something that I'm working on, and something I'm like getting a lot better with and more comfortable with. Just because you're not getting passive income from something does not mean it's a waste of time. And I think we need to get this narrative like out of our heads. And I think we need to go back to almost like our childlike selves and just enjoy things and enjoy life again, because we are truly losing the art of hobbies, and it's just detrimental for what it's doing for people's mental health, physical health, and society in general.
Not what I'm falling for.
Okay, we're almost done here, but my second to last item on this list for propaganda I am not falling for is that everything happens for a reason. That is called toxic positivity, girl. And we don't do toxic positivity here. Just because something bad happened to you does not mean that it happened for a reason. Not everything bad that happens to you has to have some learning opportunity coming out of it. You don't have to be like developing your character like 24/7, okay? Bad things can just happen. It can happen out of your control, and it can just happen. It doesn't always have to mean something. And I think the second that we stop placing meaning on bad things that have happened to us, that's when we can start to like fully live and just like be more free. If we're always searching for like,
they did this to me because they blah blah blah, or they did this to me because of me because I was blah blah blah,
like, now you're in a cycle of searching, and like, you can never just live. Like, girl, again, your purpose on this planet is literally just to be, to experience, and to live. It's not to be searching for meaning in everything. And I think a lot of people struggle with rumination because they're always looking for like, why did this happen to me? And a lot of the times when we're searching for why did this happen to me, we are looking for like, why did this negative thing happen to me and not why did this positive thing happen to me? So first of all, if you're going to be searching for why things happen to you, why not search for the negative and the positive, so that way you can kind of like balance out the negative with a bunch of these positive things happening. But I would just kind of recommend stop searching, just focus on what you want, focus on like the good stuff in your life, and just like keep your focus there and just like leave it. You're totally fine. You're chilling. Like, we don't need scapegoat phrases for things that happen to us. We don't need to accept that bad things have happened to us either. I think that's another thing that I was going to gloss over, but we don't need to accept when bad things happen to us. Again, just because something happened to us does not mean we need to get something out of it. It doesn't need to be a good thing out of it. It doesn't need to be a bad thing out of it. Sometimes it just is. It just is. And the second you just kind of allow and you just say, okay, things are just no meaning. I'm just gonna go do what I want. Like, whatever, just let it happen. Just, and I'm gonna go focus on what I want. Like, that is where we're trying to get to, not allowing. Because when you say everything happens for a reason, you're almost like giving this negativity thing like a permission slip to be like, oh, it's fine that happened because like it happens for a reason. Like, no. Things like this can continue happening in my life because it's fine. It's going to eventually lead to something. That's not true. That's not always true. You are the one that gets to decide that this happened because there's a learning outcome, or this happened because it was supposed to happen. Like, I was doing this, or I was thinking this, or I was saying this, so that's why this happened. Like, oh my God, help. You're doing it to yourself, so stop. You are the only one who can stop that. So literally just stop. Just stop. Today. Now. Stop it. I want to quickly add in here for the spiritual girlies who are like, everything happens because I created it. Let me just serve to y'all real quick. Not everything needs a spiritual explanation or a manifestation chart or an astrology chart or tarot readers, okay? You're allowed to just be mad or sad or confused. That's also part of being human. Remember, you're human. You are not a celestial being, okay? So be human. And if you're into spirituality, if you're into manifestation, if you're into religion, like, be into that. Be a human that's into that. Don't be something higher than human, because you're not. Look in the mirror. You are literally human. You're not like spirit that's flying around, okay? So be into that stuff, but do it the human way, okay? Be kind. Have grace for yourself. Thank you. And the last propaganda item I am not falling for, this one's really funny, but princess nails. I think we've all seen this TikTok by now, but there was this girl who was claiming to like work for this really big like fashion magazine or something, and she was like, all of these companies have paid like tons and tons of money to promote princess nails, and so we're gonna see that princess nails are coming back in style and whatever. And it's so funny because I don't know if this was like reverse psychology, like PR or whatever, but what it actually ended up doing was like the reverse. So now everyone with like really long nails is getting like longer nails, or like people are just like really sticking to their long nails. And now there are like tons of trends of people being like, no. So there's like the one that I've seen the most that I love is when there's like text on the screen that says like, oh, like princess nails are gonna be in, and then there's like that. I don't know how they do it. Is it like this? Wait. But it's so funny. Princess nails is not propaganda that I'm falling for just because a big corporation says something to me. I don't care. I've always been someone who was like, a lot of my friends call me like a trendsetter instead of a trend follower. And I'm not saying that I'm an influencer, okay? I just do my own thing. Like, I've always done my own thing. I will always do my own thing. And if trends follow what I'm doing, then okay. And if they don't, okay. But I'm just gonna do what I want. And so, my favorite thing, I've talked about this before, is putting little plushy keychains on my things. And I have Mr. Joe Cool here. And I've been doing this since like October last year just to have receipts for y'all. And now all of a sudden everyone wants a plushie keychain from Pop Mart on all of their stuff. And it's like, girl, I've been there, done that, like I created this trend. Like, Pop Mart needs to pay me royalties at this point. This one's really short and sweet. I'm just not falling for the princess nails trend because of that. So that's about it. That's all of the propaganda that I'm not falling for right now. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on all of the propaganda items that I've spoken about. And I said that overconsumption is silly and not worth even like participating in, but I do need to run because I need to get that friendship bracelet from Dutch Bros. I am a Dutch Bros fiend. I love Dutch Bros. I love friendship bracelets, and I just want to wear more stuff this year. I want to wear more jewelry. I want more things on my hands. I might even get like an ankle bracelet. Like, I don't know about the necklace things. I hate when they get like tangled, and I know that necklace hack, but definitely things on my arms, and so and things in my hair too. Yeah, so oh my gosh, it's like stuck in my clip. That is propaganda I'm not falling for, and yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you so much for the new subscribers. I started posting on YouTube Shorts, and that's doing super well. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much. Your comments are so sweet. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!